James Harden, his interview that he had this week. Had an interesting quote that everyone's kind of pulling from. I wanted to ask you guys about. So the quote is, quote, "I wouldn't want an organization to send someone somewhere where they wouldn't want to be, because you've built a real relationship with that person. That person has done so many great things for your organization, your franchise. But then you don't want to give that player away for nothing. So I get both sides. Just find a balance, meet in the middle, and hopefully both sides can come to an agreement." Now, the question was about Damien Lillard, but we can't help but assume he's also talking about his own situation. And if he is, do you think this contradicts earlier reports about him wanting to start the year with the Los Angeles Clippers?
No, I don't think it contradicts it. I think that's his preference. But how I took that was there's other places that he's okay going, but not Philly. That's how I took it.
Anywhere but here.
Yeah, I mean, it's some other places you could send me that I'll be okay with, if not the Clippers.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's how I took it. This is my preference. But, hey, if you really trying and they can't really make it work, I'll take this place right here. Or I'll take these couple places right here.
Interesting.
It makes a lot of sense. I didn't go that route, but I could totally see how you did. I like that too. So I think I'm going to break down the situation. I think it's a little different than Lillard's, right? So I think Houston would have been his version of Lillard's Portland, not Philadelphia. So although he allegedly wanted to go to Philadelphia from Houston, they eventually did Brooklyn because, they got the most out of Brooklyn in a trade. And I think, Harden was probably meeting them in the middle and going, okay, Brooklyn's, I'll deal with that. I'll go with that. I know guys there. They're a good team, probably win a championship. Let's go there. So in the end, Brooklyn ends up trading him to us for less than what they got him for. Because at that point, he didn't owe Brooklyn anything. Doesn't know the franchise. Doesn't know the GM. Didn't know any of them. So he didn't owe them anything like he talked about, owing a lot to your franchise and your owners and your GM. So now he comes to Philadelphia, doesn't know the city anything, doesn't know most of the people anything, but he is close to Morey. But that relationship is apparently fractured. So then it comes down to, how fractured is it? As a question. So where's the balance? Eric, I love your take on that the balance is going maybe somewhere else. I took it as in him maybe being a little more patient with Philly, maybe okay staying a little while until they figure it out. But unfortunately, I think your explanation makes more sense.
Yeah.
No to Philly, yes to somewhere else, just not here.
I think that's what I firmly believe that's it. He's there. I don't think it's a situation where he's changing his mind and coming there. Staying in Philly. I think if he stays in Philly, it's going to be because they won't move me.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to stay. I'm coming to do my job because I'm required to do it, but my request, demand, or whatever they call it, still exists.
But at the same time, he said he's okay with management's take on, or he's understanding of management's take on not trading you for below what they deem you're worth. So,
yeah, that's true. But the issue is, and I think I said it on the last show, what they deem you're worth, then pay me what you deem I'm worth. Yeah. That's the issue. So you can't say I'm worth all this, but then you won't pay me that. So it's going to be a form of balance, because that right there is how it gets ugly.
Yeah.
When you have these high demands, but you won't give me the money for those to match those high demands. And I know Steph Curry is Steph Curry, but I'm just saying. Let's just think of what if someone wanted to trade Golden State and trade for Steph Curry, how much they would actually have to offer to even get their attention. Maybe wouldn't get their attention at all, but let's just, fiction-wise, how much do you think they would have to offer? Tons, right?
For them not to hang up the phone?
They also pay him the maximum amount that they can pay him without hesitation.
Yeah. That's why the Lillard situation is so different, because Lillard is making a lot of money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So he is boom. Lillard's is different because he got paid. He's under
He already
contract.
got it. Yeah.
The difference is the team isn't trying to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not young anymore.
Yep.
So that's where I think he gets moved, because it's like, yeah, we paid you. We want you to be here. But, you know, he's selling tickets for a team that everyone knows most likely aren't going to win the championship and probably won't even make the playoffs. Like when can we look at their team and be firm like they're a playoff lock in the next what? How many years? Couple, 2 or 3. And this is what a playing game. This is what a playing game. We can't look at them and say their future tells me there'll be a lock for the playoffs in 2 years, 3 years.
I wouldn't even say they're a lock for the play-in game.
But obviously with Dame, you have a chance every year. He's that kind of talent. But you look at that team and you like any kind of slippage or injuries, they'll make it. Some teams you can see slippage and injuries, and making the playoffs isn't even an issue. It's just whether they can get out of the West.
Or the seed, what seed they are.
What seed they're going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, is Portland is their future more promising than the Mavericks with Luka? No. Minnesota? No.
No.
Sacramento?
No.
I mean, that's all. Oklahoma City? No.
Even future wise, no.
That's what I'm talking about. Future, like next 2 or 3 years, like no. The top teams, we don't know how that's going to play out. But right now, if those guys are healthy and playing the way they play, we know that any combination of those teams will be there.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the teams that are younger and haven't really consistently made the playoffs yet. And I just mentioned the West teams. So that's 4 teams we mentioned that looks more promising.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Spurs, obviously not, but it all depends on if young fella is as good as they is advertised.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see that changing quickly. But outside of that, where? Houston. I mean, that's somewhere we don't know. I mean, they've got some veterans around all those young guys that could flip. I don't think it'll flip this year, but that could flip within 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But see, Lillard's change of scenery changes his biggest gripe. It fixes that. Harden going to the Clippers is not fixing his gripe. He's not going to be paid more, and he's not going to be paid more next year. They're not going to pay him $50 million next year. They don't have the money for it. So he's going to get even less with the Clippers.
That's the thing about it, though. They have the money. They have the money for it, and that's his maximum, which means that he's able to make it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's able. He fits into that mold. He qualifies for that, basically. He qualifies for that amount based on what he's accomplished in his career. Correct?
Oh yeah, just for valuation for him where he's at.
That's what I'm saying. So he can make that amount. So if he can make it and you decide not to give it to him, so what's the balance between what he's able to get and what you're offering him? How much is in between?
So he's got to be pretty confident that the Clippers are going to give him more next year than we're giving him right now.
This is what I'm trying to say. Is if this is his maximum, and the Sixers are giving him X amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that difference is, living where you want to live and being where you want to be.
Yeah, well,
make up for that.
Yes.
Not having a home in Philly and going back and forth, he can save money that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though it's, I don't know. I'm sure those guys don't live cheap. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may rent or buy. I mean, I don't know if they rent or buy houses nowadays with all this when they live in different cities from where their main home is, like I don't know, they have a lot of money to just buy the houses that they play, rent them for a year, like however they do.
Yeah.
But either way it go, just I said the same thing about Russell Wilson when my son was asking me why I thought he took less money. Like that was his market. I said I felt he could get more somewhere else, but he's also at the stage where he's at home. He's at the house home he lives in all year round. His children are of school age or becoming of school age,
and he liked his role there.
And he likes his role, and he wants to be with his family. So you don't have to move your family. You don't have to change schools. You don't have to. It's value in that, especially as a player gets older. It's value in that.
Yeah. For Harden, it's less about
James is different
like
because he's different. He doesn't have a family. I don't know if James has children or not, but he's not married. He doesn't have a family.
He's got a nightlife.
No, I'm just saying he's not married with children.
It's different.
So it is different. But there is value in living where you want to live and not having to. So that is value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And if you're married to the nightlife, I'd rather be in LA than Philly.
But at the end of the day, I mean, Philly is New York. It's the same. I mean, LA's nice, but I didn't necessarily consider LA's nightlife to be like that. I consider LA to be like that, but not the nightlife.
Yeah.
When you hear about guys saying, "Hey, I don't need to hang out in LA," it wasn't really like that.
No, for a guy that wants to go to like concerts and venues,
it's not Vegas where you hang out all night. Like, there's other places, Atlanta, whatever, Miami, that's like more clubby than LA.
No, clubby, sure, but like celebrity parties, all kinds of events.
All that, But they can do that in the summer.
I know. Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't think. I just think it's just comfort of living.
Yeah.
And I think Tracy McGrady also said something this week about how his trade request doesn't make any sense. If you want to win a championship, like the best place to be would be staying.
He's talking about pure basketball.
Basketball, yeah, nothing more than that.
Yeah. Most guys I've commented on it, like former players, I've said like, this is where he looks perfect there. Like, what are you doing? Like, so they're just thinking pure
basketball decision. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a basketball perspective, but I think this is different. I think this is
more than that. Yeah,
more than that, and I think a lot of people that make comments about what James should do, I think a lot of people would see it differently if they were in his shoes.
Yeah,
as far as the relationships, what he's accomplished in his career, what he's being offered, what he's able to get. I can't sit up here and say everybody would respond like the way they're telling James he needs to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the moment too. It's easier to be like a post NBA vet saying like, "Oh man,
someone of like you use Tracy for example, Tracy's status. You know what I'm saying? First ballot, all NBA, top player in the league. They see it differently. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a different lens than everybody else.
Yeah.
So if he's at that level and he's at the end of his career, but he still put up that type of career for him, equivalent to what James did, he's not trying to hear that.
Yeah. Not to mention telling this, I don't know how old Tracy McGrady is right now, but telling that McGrady at this age saying that and McGrady at age still in the middle of his, like toward the end of his prime.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it. But that's what I'm saying though. Like Tracy had a heck of a run there. Then towards like everybody else towards the end of his career, it tempered off like everybody. Yeah. But maybe everybody except LeBron. Everybody. I'm just saying like everybody, but if you're telling me that Tracy put up equivalent numbers to what James Harden did based on his career, and he had the third best team in the league, like you can't tell me that them dudes will be like, pay me way less. They wouldn't do it. Like that's why I said like I can talk from there about them, but I've never seen it out of their lens.
Yeah.
So there's no way that they're going to come and you already gave them a discount for 2 years. There's no way those guys do that. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of guys like me, as role players and journeymen, and starter, some non-starter. Like, yeah, we see it, but them top players, like, come on, man. What's different? It's only a couple of them. It's not a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I can't. Now I'm going in the shoe of a player putting himself in the shoe of another player, so it's really hard. I'm like way out of there, but I think when they see it is they just put together a few different factors. He's made a lot. He's made his money. He's made a lot of money. He has the accolades. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. All that stuff's done. Now at this point, like in their minds, are saying you should just be trying to get that ring now. Go to your best situation on the court, but he doesn't want to do that. Like I just think there's a disconnect between how much Harden is prioritizing on the court fit and then off the court fit, and I think he's putting a lot more weight into his off the court fit right now.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it as him putting it on in the off the court way. I think it's more of you're not being fair to me based on what I've done and what I've done for you in my career. I see it more like that than what he wants to do off the court.
But don't guys, as they get older, start to take less to stay competitive? Like, but he's in the opposite, though. Like, Maury's signed the contract.
So why should a guy that's older take less to stay competitive? The guy that's younger shouldn't take less to stay competitive?
I don't know. Ask Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying, if it's to stay competitive, why did only the older guy has to take less?
Because you're matching your talent trajectory, because your talent's starting to do this, then your salary shouldn't do this.
But it's to stay competitive, though. You said to stay competitive.
Yeah, because Harden.
That's what I'm saying. So if we're trying to win a championship, why should only the older guy take a pay cut? This is the end of his career. He's not going to get any more deals. Once he go down, he's not going back up. A young guy can go down like LeBron did when he went to Miami, and he will go back up. Old guys, you go down, you're down.
But everyone's less willing to give you money when you're older.
But if they're you said if take the less.
No, I know, but
stay competitive. I'm saying
the younger guys have like a window to ask for whatever they want, and the team will give it to them. Jaylen Brown, for instance. Jaylen Brown asking for this money in 5 years from now? No, it wouldn't happen.
Jaylen Brown earned that. He earned
No. I'm not saying he didn't. Absolutely. But the reason why they ask for as much as they can when they're younger is because they know that the team will give it to them or something close to it. Harden's, whether it's here or anywhere else, Harden's having a hard time
saying though. But what you're saying is Jaylen Brown should have said, you know what, y'all can give me $304 million, but I'm only going to take $250 because I want to stay competitive.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So why should James do that then? Or why should an older guy do the same thing? No, he takes a pay cut to play because we're saying, hey, either you're going to take this or we're going to move in a different direction. But if you don't take it just to stay competitive.
It's not just this. It's to find what's fair for your market, right? Because
but that's not to stay competitive. That's just what the market.
If there were 10 teams willing to pay Harden that money, then I'd say, like, why the hell would he stay? But no one is giving him that contract. No one the entire league agrees with Philly right now. No one's giving you that money, James.
I mean,
no
because they know that Philly. But why would the entire league give him an offer that we all know that Philly can match and keep?
Well, then why didn't he go into free agency then?
Because Philly can match it. Philly can offer more.
But he opted in, which means he guaranteed himself that money right there. No option for more.
Because you can control the trade. You can control the leverage. You want to control when you give Philly the chance to get something back, and you can be traded.
So you think if Harden knew there was a team out there willing to pay what he wants?
Well, technically, you're not supposed to know because you're not supposed to be talking to anyone.
Technically. Come on. Yeah, oh, sure.
Right? I'm just saying.
Technically.
I mean, that's with the rules now. You didn't see a lot of the tampering.
I think it all makes a lot of sense. He thought the Rockets were that team, and he was playing that note since December.
Well, we don't know. The Rockets could have been that team. We don't know. They didn't give him that deal until after he opted in. He didn't get that deal before James opted in. James opted in before that.
Van Fleet and that were, I mean, they were almost same. I mean, they were neck and neck.
We don't know.
I think he's got enough connections in Houston to know if they were going to offer him that deal or not.
but we don't know. We can assume, but we don't know.
Yeah.